Assalamu alaikum. This is the advanced comparative constitutional advocate Kulrez King. Today is the 9th of the May, year 2024, and I would like to discuss the modern issues within the territorial limits of the Islamic Republic of the Pakistan in connection with the affairs of the federations as well as the confederations. There might be a lot of the statutory regulatory authority order and SOPs, SROs as well as SOPs prescribed by the administrative organs of the Pakistan department associations, and we have to collaboratively understand those issues. So my prime ingredient has to just reflect myself before my mobile phone in order to understand the failures in the central limits of the Pakistan appears to be the task obligation of mine, which I'm just portraying in this video. So when I observe the ground realities in connection with the affairs of the human resource management failures, therefore I just come forward with a thought-provoking observation of myself as a landmark judicial observations while working for the judicial reforms in the Pakistan. I found that a lot of the judicial legislative enactments should be modified, rectified, and there must be a lot of the consolidated legislation which I have researched by myself, consolidated legislation, because all the copyrights and all the rights, intangible and tangible rights reserved to me. So I'm the owner of such legislation. If I file such legislation in the interest of the Pakistan, there might be a lot of the uh, issues, outstanding uh, issues of the departments would be addressed automatically, because I figured out that how to uh, cover up such failures of our civil society as well as the Muslim society. Now, hereafter, one has to understand the fiscal failures. Fiscal failure means such failures of financial obligations, and physical failure means humans. So, each of us or everyone around us could be observed in a factor of Insolvency Act. When we just apply to an individual who is insolvent and try to cover up the insolvency through another person, this is an operative offense in Pakistan which should be understood by the individuals of the Pakistan. If you are insolvent and you're trying to defend the country, you cannot, because the question arises here impliedly that if you do not have any way as to accommodate to yourself your human needs, thereafter how you can defend your country? This would become an imperative injunction as per the law of the land. So when I was observing the Army Act 1952, there are a lot of things. When I observed the Official Secret Act 1930, a lot of the issues. So series wise, I just studied almost all the laws applicable or applied in the Pakistan. The PAMRA laws, the Pakistan Electronic Regulatory Authority Ordinance 2002, the print media, the electronic media, all of the laws. I just read them since the year 2026 towards. So when I was very busy as to just observing the laws of the land, as to just compile a piece of legislation that would be called as the consolidated legislation in the interest of the public interest, I was totally churned out as to observe the public failures in the public sector, while they are not in a position as to just provide the shelter of convenience to the rest of the Republicans from whom they have been charged with their primary obligatory duty task management affairs. They're just try to overcome a mechanism which is not in uh, occupation in interest of the adverse relationship of the same uh, fact act law. So while just covering up all these issues, I went through another issue that would be a very pertinent to mention here, that humans issues. Human laws are not existent in Pakistan. This is a primary failure of the individuals rather than the state institutions. No one has a right to discriminate the State Department over the part and parcel of its personal failure. Now it is becoming a precedent after observing a lot of the judicial observations that a lot of the individuals, after having no proper reconciled medium of income and expenses to their hard work, what they are posing in the public sector appears to be an outstanding judicial liability to be addressed to the Republic of the Pakistan in the interest of the public litigation through this online video linkage. That it is an admissible fact in existence after observing a lot of the confrontational battles of the departments versus the individuals and individual versus the departments, what comes as a output and addressable way of understanding that such departments are not are trying to cover their position. They just want to have a proper meal for their family, for as a salary, as a working. We should understand their self, because they have been chosen under the Public Service Commission, the Federal Public Service Commission, under the Constitution of the Pakistan directly. So their duty obligatory is a mandatory task management with the affairs of the Constitution. You do not need to overtake their issues because you do not have a sufficient balance of statutory regulatory authorities in your hands. So you need to work in your own square. But despite of that, when an individual resident immigrant of the Pakistan uh, do not find or does not find any way as to execute its own life in perfect mediums, what he do in the public sector is to just lay off all his burden to the public departments, and after that he just say that uh, the departments are not working well. So impliedly this would turn down in a situation where from the department takes an anger inside their brain. So as a psychological effect, what comes the next, that such departments do not uh, cover the failures of the individuals for their own duty, because they find that the other humans, the citizens are not honest to the loyal to the state. First, the citizen should loyal to the state under the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of the Pakistan under 1973. If any court, likewise the Supreme Court, High Court, Civil Court, Session Court, even a statutory bylaw is written, then a citizen, immigrant, or whatsoever the status may arise of an individual, such an individual should have to take compliance of such order. Because if he is not willing to take the shelter of such document, then he would not cover up his own constructive working in his own capacity or capacitated official mandate as per compliance of his own official duty. So as per my observation so far, we need to make a statutory regulatory order in compliance with the Constitution of the Pakistan, that the loyalty to the state institutions is mandatory for all citizens, and this section would apply to all those individuals who are breaking the laws by just over saying a word. So my this would be considered as an advisory opinion of mine under the Constitution of 1973, Article 196, that if anyone who is being profound in the public sector while stating that the state machinery is not working, we are failing, even in a controversial way, thereby such individual should be charged with an offense that disloyal to state and should be punished with the imprisonment for a term for 1 year. At least we are behind the bar, so that his next generations will understand that his father and mother was found an offense. And the CNICs of such individuals who are not loyal to the state, breaking the laws, defaming the army under the Army Act 1952, defaming the other sectors, Federal Board of Revenue, and defaming the other departments like customs and police department. All of those individuals were not their employee or their counterparts should be dealt with red hands and settled down behind the bars. Stay blessed. The Advanced Comparative Constitutional Advocate, Gurrez King, 9th May, year 2024.